Hi, everyone. Today I am reviewing the people who contacted me in relation to a productionhub.com post I made for a movie I'm producing. And now I'm making phone calls. This is part of my ongoing series, The Boring Glamorous Life of Being a Movie Producer. And I just... yeah, I guess there should be a boring / glamorous. I don't know. And it's funny. I love meeting people. I love talking to people. And I just looked at everyone's reel if they had it, though there are some audio people who also applied and some PAs. I am, who didn't have reel. And the part that I don't like, even though once I get into it I do like, is making phone calls. And so it's tough for me. It's almost like cold calling, even though people have already mentioned that they're interested, even though I've been doing this for years. It's still always weird for me to be like, hey, you applied. We haven't had a conversation. This is our first conversation, blah, blah, blah. And that's, I think, a weird thing in me. I consider myself an extrovert, and I really... don't know why this always gives me pause, but it does. And so I thought I'd just mention it because even though I've done this a million times, and even though this isn't like a cold call, what would be considered a cold call in other industries, this person or these people who have already read what the production is about and have said, oh, sounds interesting, send me more information or get in contact with me, it's still always weird. So that's your little tidbit for today. And yeah, just making phone calls. Fascinating, right? But it is fun. And especially when you do find someone where you can have a nice conversation and you're like, oh, this person fits the right vibe for the project, that is the best. Because then you're like, oh, this is starting to come together and it's feeling good, and we have people who gel with the same kind of, it just feels right. I don't want to get too woo-woo, but it feels right, like when you audition someone and, you know, the person walks in the room and you can feel it almost before they do a kick-ass audition and you're like, oh, I already knew that, this is happening. And that's kind of the same way when you're picking out crew, but sometimes not as clear as when you meet the person in person with an audition. So I'm going to get to it now. This is me just blah, blah, blahing so that I can procrastinate some more. So anyway, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye. I got voicemail. Hey Matt, my name's Leslie Lello, and I put a post on Production Hub and you responded to it. I'm the one doing the one-day shoot in July. I think I posted July 10th, but it's going to be sometime in July, and they just make me pick a date. So I understand you do audio, and that's great. I see that you also are in Delaware, and as long as you can get to New York City, then this could work out. I'd love to talk to you some more about the project. Some of the questions that you had. The writer that I was referring to is Peter. He wrote the feature called, which I literally just picked up at the library like today. I'm going to actually watch it. But we met several months ago, and that's how that came about. You can give me a call back at 917. And I look forward to speaking with you. Have a great day. And that's how it's done. would have liked to have shown more of a conversation. Maybe I'll do one more. So that was, I picked him to call first because we were looking for technicians with both equipment and experience. Although I will take equipment if this is a super low budget. So the emphasis is on keeping things inexpensive, really. So there are people, I picked first the people who actually wrote notes with their application on Production Hub. And then I'm picking it by like the people I got the best vibe from who on there, although there are people who didn't write anything, who just applied without a message, and they're second string, but two of the people I actually like better. And we can rent equipment if we need to, if the technician is less expensive. So I also looked at reels, and I'm calling people based more on if they have a reel. Some people didn't have a reel, and that's like one of these guys was like no reel, and he's a DP, and that's like last on the list. There was someone who actually had a bit of a snarky response because he's like, everybody's saying that they've worked with A-list people, and I was just like, that already is attitude, and and maybe he's a really nice guy, but when you write that in a response, he's like, well, who would you really work with that's like A-list? I was like, that's what you ask in the conversation, not when you're writing and applying. So he's second on the list behind the guy without the reel, even though his work is really good. So that's it. And also, in consideration for ultra low budget, which I said in the post, if people come back and like their stuff looks really like they're doing all commercial work, which pays a lot, I have to think about that, and that kind of jockeys them in a little bit different position. And will they scoff at the fact that we're only paying a certain amount because they're used to earning like thousands of dollars a day. So that's the criteria, different criteria for different budgets, but this is really a simple one day. It's gonna be nice. I like the script, and I like the writer, and the writer, director, producer, and it just it has a nice vibe to it, and I'm hoping to bring nice vibe people onto the production. And I really only do productions now for other people that either A, have very nice a nice feel to it and matches my aesthetic for movies, like no horror. I don't want to do that. I don't want to put that vibration out into the world. And or pays a lot of money. And I still really don't want to do horror. They shouldn't pick me. I'm not that kind of producer. Comedy, yes. Horror, no. So anyway, that's my day to day. So that's my little spiel. That's what I'm doing. Anyway, have a good one, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Okay? Bye-bye.